Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy! Happy holidays! Hey! Happy holidays! Woo! May the merry bells keep ringing. May all your dreams come true. Oh my gosh. So clearly I've been in every store in America because I am like playing the holiday songs on repeat. They're in my head on repeat. They're everywhere you go. You can't get enough of it. But I actually love those songs. I have to tell you though, in all transparency and in true great girlfriend form, to be honest, those songs have sort of, I don't know, they're ripping me up this year. I do miss my dad. This is his most wonderful and favorite time of year, and his birthday is December 30th. And so, hearing the holiday songs is pinching me a bit this year. Although I love them, I'm having a love-hate year with the holiday songs, so bear with me. But happy Wednesday, great girlfriends. And of course, happy holidays to each and every single one of you. If you're not in the holiday spirit, let me just stop right now and encourage you to say, you are so loved. When I say you are loved, girl, you are loved. You are loved more than you might realize right now. You are loved. You are the object of God's affection. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful that you trust me and the Great Girlfriend community to be a part of your world. I'm here for you. The Great Girlfriend community is here for you. And you deserve to feel the spirit of connection in every season of your life. So if you're dealing with any isolation this holiday season, let me just encourage you to know that love is waiting for you, but it's waiting for you in the arms of people who truly, truly want to support and be near to you. So if you're feeling isolated, or maybe you are isolating yourself, I just want to invite you to opt into community. Whatever your nearest community might be. It could be coworkers, right? It could be neighbors. It could be someone at your local Starbucks that you know very well because you're there all the time. It could be your mailman. It could be someone at your church or someone in your local library, or your local bookstore or your favorite store in the mall. But just plug into the people that you have built rapport with, and just ask people if maybe they'll have a coffee with you, or maybe there's time that you can, have a dinner together, or maybe you can just spend 15 minutes just chatting with them about, who you are and what you're passionate about. But do your best to plug into community and avoid isolation at all costs. I mean, when I tell you, it is going to help you realize how great and how remarkable and how phenomenal you are, and how much you deserve to have that experience of love and joy. It really will make the difference for you. And if you're in the holiday spirit, spread it far and wide. Like, be the one with the big smile where you see people in the store and you're just like, why are they smiling at me? Well, I don't have a real reason other than I love you and I'm happy to have this holiday season with you, right? So, I'm just inviting you to make that leap, because not everyone has the gift of connection that you have. And so you can make the difference in somebody's life. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what this holiday season's all about. Well, happy Wednesday and welcome back to the Great Girlfriend Show. I am so excited to have this flashback going this week into the 2021 Doers and Disruptors Conference. If you were not there in New York City, oh my gosh, you missed out. You missed out on, I want to say it was our best conference ever. It was such an exciting time for every speaker that was there. One, we were out of the house. We were not wearing masks. We were together in the space, and we were healthy, and we were happy to be together and connected. The content was so powerful and impactful. The presence, every single woman just looked like a 5-star, like she was going to, I don't know, the most important event of her life. Everyone brought their A game, and it was just really, really great to be together with women again in New York City, and to host them and to facilitate what I hope was a life-changing experience. So I thought it would be great for me to share some of that with you on the podcast. Before I jump into that, I do want to remind you, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast, go back to listen to the big stretch. Very important episode because Tanisha Jackson Warner just walks us into, all of the different ways that we can pursue our dreams right now, right where we are. And then the other thing I want you to go back and listen to is episode 359, which is 3 ways to cut distractions today. Such an important episode. I lay out so many important keys for keeping your focus, right? Staying aligned and being centered with where you're supposed to be and not being pulled in every which way, every direction according to what the news is putting out or what social media is putting out or where people are pulling you into. So you want to go back and listen to those. Also save the date, January 22nd through 24th. We are kicking off our Ready, Set, Go challenge for 2023. It is a 3-day virtual experience. You are invited. I repeat, you are invited. I want you there because it is such a great time for you to gather with women in our community, get in the faces of all these other women, online, of course, but also what we're doing is we're disrupting some of the negativity and some of the habits and patterns that may have sabotaged you in 2022 to make space for what will be your best year ever in 2023. Alongside the challenge, I am introducing my very first ebook. I am super excited. Again, I'm calling this book Second to Your Bible, the absolute next best game-changing book in your life. You're going to love it. You're going to read it repeatedly. You're going to want me to put it in paper or hardback form. I might do it if enough people demand it. I might just do it, right? In the meantime, it is an ebook that you're going to download and have in your pocket whenever you want to read it. And I'm just so excited about it because it unlocks some strategies that I think you're going to find useful that you can revisit throughout the year. So when we do the Kickstarter challenge, it's not just about the top of the year. It's about sustaining momentum throughout the year. So what you'll find is you kick off the year and then March comes around and everyone's fatigued. Well, with this book, you'll have strategies to help sustain you through the year. And with the Kickstarter challenge, with the Ready, Set, Go challenge, you'll be able to revisit those strategies as you go through the year. These are sustaining strategies. I repeat, this is not just a vision board. This is methodology. This is an approach to building and sustaining life, right? So that's what I want for you, is to have those principles in your pocket. So January 22nd to 24th, save that date. You're going to be there. I'm so excited because I always love seeing the faces of the people that actually listen to this podcast. And so every time we do in-person events or we have a chance to get together virtually, I'm over the moon. All right. So back to this week's episode called Community and Commerce with Brandice Daniel. Y'all know Brandice. Tiffany, the budgetnista Aliche. Y'all know Tiffany. Hey, Tiff. And Cate Luzio, who you also know, who's the founder of Luminary. These 3 amazing superhumans, who I call great girlfriends, came together for an exciting panel at the conference to talk about the bridge between community and commerce. And if you're building a business, why you must build yourself up as a community builder and why having that community component as an essential part of your business will be the game-changing part of your business as well. So, long sentence, but I said all that to say this episode is another one of those ones that you will listen to on repeat and that you'll share in high frequency with your great girlfriends. So grab your pen and paper, get ready to take copious notes because this conversation is one for the records. This one is a good one. And I'm so excited that I got to sit in the middle of my great girlfriends and have this conversation about community and commerce, right? And the importance of the two. And I cannot wait to hear your reviews. So as soon as you finish listening, jump on over to iTunes and leave your podcast review. Okay? Love you much, great girlfriends. Enjoy. But in all seriousness, how do you build the relationships? How do you build the community? How do you make all that happen? Well, I am so excited to bring up 3 great girlfriends today. I am looking for Cate Luzio, the founder of Luminary. Come on up, Cate. Cate coming from the right. Come on, Cate. Yes. Hi, Cate. I am also so excited to bring up my great girlfriend, Tiffany, the budgetnista Aliche.
Shawty made that clap, she don't need no applause.
Hey, Tiff.
Like G-Wagon.
Hi.
I put some ice.
Last but not least, I want to bring up my right hip, My great girlfriend, the founder of Harlem's Fashion Row, Brandice Daniel.
If we hop in the Benz, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you?
Oh my goodness. All right, great girlfriends, let's have a seat and let's talk about this whole, I got a mission, I want to make it matter, and I actually would like to make a little money doing it. A lot of monies, lots of monies, right? As my daughter used to say, monies. Lots of monies doing it. How do you make your mission matter to people? Who knows how? Whoever got it.
Well, first of all, I want to say, hey, hey, hey. You guys honestly look so beautiful. Like the colors, the everything, everyone looks gorgeous. So the way you make your mission matter to people is that it has to matter to you.
Yes.
So I think this is what I learned when I taught preschool for 10 years, that there is no fooling people, not at their core. So, you know, if a child feels like you really don't like them, you know they're going to act up in school. So when you actually care about children, then they bring you their best. Yeah. So Miss Tiffany, I loved my kids, and so they would listen to me sometimes even more than their parents. Wait till we get to school, I'm going to tell Miss Tiffany you weren't listening. Don't tell Miss Tiffany. You know, so I brought that skill set with me into my business, The Budgetnista, that I truly care about not only the mission, but I care about you too. And as a result, you feel me. And so you bring Miss Tiffany your best. And so that is how you get a mission to really spread, caring about the mission and then really caring about the people that it's going to affect.
I would totally agree. And I first of all, we met earlier in the green room, and we're just like, I love your outfit, I love this. So looking out in this sea of amazing women and male allies, I just love it. I just love it. It's amazing to be back in a space. Thank you, Sybil, and seeing everybody just be so energized. You know, I think the biggest thing is walking the talk. Right? I, like many of the women before on the incredible panel before, Raquel, I spent almost 25 years in corporate America in banking and really wanted to do more to invest in the workforce and advance women in whatever professional journey they were on, whether you're a business owner, you're a teacher, you're in corporate America. And I couldn't do that without walking the talk. And I think from a community standpoint, it can't just be about money. There is a money. We're not all in nonprofit. I'm a for-profit business, but I believe in the community that I'm building with Luminary. I believe in communities like the Great Girlfriends, and I'm walking the talk. If you don't do that, I will tell you, people will figure you out.
That's right.
Maybe not in the beginning, maybe not in the first year, maybe not 10 years, even in your career, whether it's in corporate America or not, you will be figured out. So own it. And believe not only in yourself, but believe in what you're building.
Mabel. That's my nickname for Brandice. I call her Mabel.
No, I totally agree. It's understanding your why. That's why you should always start there. Like, why do you want to do this business? And I love when Lucinda kept asking her, but why? But why? But why? Because when your why is so strong, it is infectious. Like, literally, people are drawn to it. And it's undeniable, right? And I don't think, like Tiffany says, nothing you can fake. You have to love it. And as you're loving it and you understand why you're doing it and whatever you're doing it has purpose, people are literally drawn to that.
It's so true. You know, a lot of people will say they're seeking freedom when they seek out entrepreneurship, right? And so they, right, we've heard that one. And they attach a liberation to it and forget that it comes with a cost, and then it takes time to build. And so what happens in those early years, well, probably the first year actually quietly kept, a lot of people will decide to put the mission to the side because it's costing them more than they are earning. And they don't feel like it's worth it to anyone because they're not getting the response they want to receive. I'm hearing you say, it's got to mean more to you than anybody else, and you have to be the one to viralize it before anyone else does. And you've often talked about when Tiffany first, do y'all follow Tiffany? Okay, oh, just so we clear. All right, good. So when Tiffany first started posting and discussing financial education and financial literacy, she said she would get no likes, 1 like, 2 likes, right? And then, because you can't believe that today. right? And imagine if she had quit when she was getting no likes, 2 likes, when no one else. That commitment bone, what is that?
Well, because for me, it was bigger than that.
Yeah.
There was something internal that I had to feed, which was my passion. The passion was my payment. It took me a while to realize, but I was called to teach. Yeah. And as much as I try to get away from it, I was like, my 2 sisters are here. They'll let you know I'm the bossiest one in the house when we was kids. She's like, look at Lisa. She's like, amen. And so I was truly called to teach, and it's the thing that keeps me going when nothing else is paying. So even now, to this day, I was just talking with Lucinda, and we were talking about how sometimes we can feel so burned out or can feel so overwhelmed. But the one thing I never tire of is teaching. So I will be tired. I'll go live and talk to y'all for an hour and pour out everything that I know about something that I just learned. Yeah. Brandice and I were just planning, we're going to walk tomorrow morning, 7:30, and we're pouring back into each other. Because teaching truly is what motivates me. So that's the thing. It's not this magical thing, external. It's not this carrot that I'm chasing. It's this inner fire that says, you must teach. It is the place that makes you happy. It's the place that centers you. It's what makes everything worthwhile. And so if you're fortunate enough to find that thing, that can see you through until, the other external things come true.
I was thinking too that you can't be addicted to the outcome. Like if you're motivated by the outcome, just stop. Find something else because it's not your purpose. That's right. When something is your purpose, you are so motivated by the mission that you don't really care about the outcome. You know that the outcome is coming at some point. But that's the difference. I think now, especially because when people are looking at what other people are doing, because when I started Harlem's Fashion Row, I couldn't really see what anyone else was doing. There was no social media. Right. Now, you can see, that person's doing this, and they're going to this meeting, and everyone's posting everything. Yeah. And so you start to get motivated by what you're seeing other people doing. Yeah. The moment you do that, I'm going to tell you, it's probably not the thing you're supposed to be doing. Yep. Right. Because the thing you're supposed to be doing, you will literally be so motivated by the mission that you do not care about the outcome. You know that's coming because you can see it. And then the other thing is, don't worry about it. Stay in your lane. Yep. I promise, when you stay in your lane, the things that God will do and how he will show up, you will be overwhelmed by it, and it might take a while. I tell people, we were unprofitable for 10 years, HFR. Mostly it was because I needed to call Tiffany and say, sis, help me. I did. I called her and said, I need help. Yeah. I'm really great at execution. I'm really bad at being profitable. What do I need to do? And that was a game changer for me, but you have to stay your course.
I would love to add to that, just because I think there is such a focus on who's going to get to the top first, who's going to be the best, who gets it all. And the reality is, if one of us gets it all, we have failed.
That's right.
We have completely failed as women. And I think this idea of collaboration over competition gets kind of pushed under the rug. It's like I watch on social media, I see everything happening, but if I can figure out a way to collaborate versus just compete, we are going to win. And it's the same in corporate America. If you can figure out how to, what Raquel was talking about, and Tiffany, and certainly Minda, who's amazing, bringing people around, advocating for others, including yourself. And Sybil and I are actually a good example. Sybil was on my LinkedIn Live a few weeks ago. And when you think about communities, Luminary has a physical space here in New York. And the first thing when I launched a little under 3 years ago was, are you just like this? Are you just like that? Are you like the competitor to this? It's like, why can't I be just who I am? And why can't we work together to actually accomplish our missions, our goals together? There's more than one pie. I mean, there's a big pie. We can all have a piece of it.
Yeah, it's so true. Great girlfriends, gifting is super hard, but Bombas makes it easy with socks, underwear, and t-shirts that feel good and do good. They feel good because they're thoughtfully designed with the softest materials, and they do good because for every item you purchase, Bombas donates another to someone in need. So if you're like me and you've got a circle of great girlfriends who are super selective and you want to make every gift custom, Bombas has the perfect gift for everyone. And who doesn't love a brand that gives back, right? With every single purchase. Bombas socks, underwear, t-shirts, and slippers are cozy upgrades to everyday basics and the perfect gift for anyone on your list, including yourself. So if you're buying something for yourself this season, then this is for you. Bombas uses materials like premium Pima cotton and ultra soft, never itchy merino wool in their socks and t-shirts, and fuzzy Sherpa linings in their slippers. Bombas' holiday collection puts a modern twist on traditional festive colors and designs. Think rich purples and greens with geometric snowflake designs, sweater-inspired textures, and retro ski patterns. With family sets, you can match with your family and friends in exceptional comfort and style. Hello, frameable holiday group photo. And did you know that socks, underwear, and t-shirts are the 3 most requested clothing items in homeless shelters? That's why Bombas donates one for every item you buy. So far, Bombas has donated over 75 million items of clothing. That's a whole lot of comfort and a whole lot of good. So give the good this holiday season with Bombas. Go to bombas.com/greatgirlfriends and use code GreatGirlfriends for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/greatgirlfriends, code GreatGirlfriends for 20% off. Bombas.com/greatgirlfriends, code GreatGirlfriends.
You know, it's so important that people hear the theme because it's a cohesive message, great girlfriends. It's been from the top of the morning all the way to this moment of you having a full understanding of your why, really seeing that things are bigger than you. You possess something so much greater and bigger on the inside of you, and being willing to commit in the process to endure to the end without competing. I'm hearing that. I want to know how you make it profitable. How did you build infrastructure around the idea that dream catchers could reach the heights, the depths, the lengths, the width that if reached today? How did you do that? And then I'm coming to you, Cate, and I'm coming to you, Brandice, because I can say I remember when 6 years ago when you were still building on certain things that are so solid right now, right? And I remember, there's just so many backstories of how we watched build along the way. And Cate, I have been fond of Luminary from the start. I don't know what it took for you to build that infrastructure, but that's the biggest piece I feel. If people can learn how to build infrastructure around their idea, they can frame something that has volume and also has impact. So how do you build that infrastructure?
Well, when I first started the Budgetnista, I honestly thought it was going to be a nonprofit because that's what we do as women, especially women of color. You have a thing, you give it away. You know? So like I said, my 2 sisters are here. If I would get a Snickers bar from my dad, if we had I would bring it home and we would chop it into 5 because there's 5 of us. Because whatever is mine is yours. That is what we're taught. And so I did not know how to monetize what I was doing. All I knew how to do was to teach. And I had reached probably by like age 30, 31, 32 was my lowest. I lost my job as a teacher due to the pandemic. Well, oh, look, pandemic still got me. Due to the recession, which was its own pandemic back then. And I ended up moving back home with my parents. Then I slept on my sister Tracy's couch for a while until she was like, no mas. and then I moved into a room like I just came home. Some of y'all don't know what that means. You're not from the hood and it shows, right? It's okay. Right? I was born hood adjacent, not in the hood, but So it was really difficult. And so all I knew how to do was to teach. And the first transition was I said, okay, I'm going to start with the one-to-one. That's usually what people think about when they first start their business. I'm going to help you with this one thing. And as women sat down with me, I realized I would do their finances and I would coach them, and they didn't really have enough money. And I didn't have the heart to take money from a woman that did not have money. Because I'd be in your house, the kids would be playing, and we'd be sitting down doing your number, and it says -1,000, and I'd look at you, you look at me, I look at the babies, and I look at you, I had one woman say, can I turn off my AC? I only put it on because you was coming, but usually I can't afford. I was like, girl, turn off all the lights, everything, you know? And so, but I realized that's not part of my mission to take from women who do not have. So I was like, well, how do I serve her? And so I realized, is she really the paying customer? So I thought, okay, well, who serves this woman? And I got my first shot working with the United Way. I realized, okay, I can teach classes. She can come for free. The United Way pays me. So that was like one to few, right? So 1 to 1, 1 to few. And so that was great. So I started using social media to get more and more people to come to class. Because I thought, well, how do I get to 1 to 1, 1 to few, 1 to many? One of my friends, his brother had just become like junior vice president at Keene University in New Jersey, and he was saying how, you know, he's so excited because they can pick speakers, and they pick speakers like $1,500 a month, $1,500 to speak. I was like, say what now? $1,500? I can speak. And so he was like, all right, and I was like, just like that? So then I realized, okay, these bigger platforms will pay more. That's 1 to many. Same Tiffany, same a lot of the time, that same hour with that one woman that paid $100, now in a classroom that was $500, now on stage that was $1,500. I said, okay. And then I really started to use social media, and I thought, well, what does 1 to infinite look like? What I'm talking about is scaling, right? And so I said, what does 1 to infinite look like? So women started hitting me up saying, I wish I could come to your class. I wish I could come to your class. And I thought, well, I'm a teacher. I know how to write curriculum. I know how to write lesson plans. What if I put it online? Because the endless amount of women can have access to it. So I put it online. The first thing I created was free, my literature challenge. And then that led to my online school, which is the Literature Academy. And so that was 1 to infinite. Because now we have nearly 50,000 students in my Literature Academy. And last year, so just so you know, I want to say 6 years ago, my business was making $150,000 a year, which meant $35,000 take home, right? So people tell you, oh, I make $150,000. No. You don't make $150,000. The business does. You take home about 1/3 of that, right? So, but now, this is 6 years after that. So I've been in business for 13 years. For the first 6, 7 years, it was just rough times. And the last 6 years, we've done really well. And I say this number because I want you to get used to this, especially the black women in the room. So we crossed over $10 million last year. 10 million. And so this is from an ex-preschool teacher. 1 to 1, 1 to few, 1 to many, 1 to infinite. Ask yourself, how do I scale? By still being I'm still same Tiff. Can't you tell?
Same Tiff, that's
I'm
facts.
still same Tiff.
Same Tiff.
Right? And so how, and what is it that I'm doing? I'm not only am I the same Tiffany, I'm literally the same preschool teacher Tiffany, because I'm just teaching. That's it. I was teaching preschool, then I was teaching this woman one-on-one, then I'm teaching in the classroom, then teaching on stage, then teaching in the academy. I know I'm a one-trick pony. I have just learned how to scale that. So, but I say that because I don't want you to think you have to be this magical creature that has to, I am so regular, like I don't know how to do a ton of things, but teaching is my thing, but I have learned to take that into a $10 million a year business, and honestly, that business, once we get it to, I was just talking to my mentor, she's like, Tiffany, in 2 years, I think you'll be ready to sell it for over $100 million. So then that becomes 9 figures. But do you see? It is possible for you. There's nothing special about me except for I do not give up.
Yes.
Right? Right.
So
Okay.
there's hope for all of us then.
I hope y'all noted that she said she talked to her mentor. All right. And I want to get over here to this because HFR, I'm coming to you. Kate, do you have something you want to drop in there? Okay.
This is just a normal
I'm sorry. Because likewise with HFR, Brandice, can I say one-trick pony? Should I say something else? One-trick pony? Brandice is a one-trick pony. Similar to what Tiffany was saying. But you know, a lot of times in business, you want to be everything. You want to do everything because you're just trying to swap meet it to figure out what's going to be your model. And so you do all the things. But what I have found about what you're saying is that clear focus, and because you can articulate your mission more clearly when you know for sure, for fact, because you're practicing it, because you're only doing it. Same thing with HFR. Brandice has been screaming designers of color need a platform from the womb, I'm sure. And I mean, she's been saying it in every room I've ever seen you enter. Even when people say, oh, that's great. Oh, good for you, right? And then all of a sudden it mattered to people. So you really, really did till the soil. And I want to know about, how you made it matter to the point that now, I know you know about her shoe with LeBron. Do we know about the Nike shoe? Okay, we know. Do we know about the American Girl launch that happened yesterday? We know about the collaboration with Janie and Jack. Do we know that? We saw all that? Okay, all right, you go ahead. You go ahead, because I'm going to big up my people now, You go ahead.
I love you, Sybil. I love you too. Now I'm trying to figure out the question, but it was, how do you make it matter to other people? What's interesting is you have to, if you keep on your path, what happens is something will happen that will make it matter to other people, and sometimes that's outside of anything you can control. Last year, I couldn't control the racial reckoning that happened in this country. I had nothing to do with it. It was something that happened, but we had been on this path for so long, so when people start doing that, who's been doing this in fashion? HFR. Right? Then we started a nonprofit last year in the middle of the pandemic, which really just expanded on the mission. It was the same thing, except now we want to give money to Black designers. And we started that right at the top of the pandemic. And again, when people were looking who to give money for, and so we got $1 million donation for a nonprofit that had not even been around for a month yet, because we were, because we had stayed on our path. And that part is so very important. And you asked the question about profit. I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we don't have a profit goal. As a matter of fact, we don't have clear goals at all. We say, this year gonna be a really good year. I'm gonna break 6 figures. Well, what does that mean exactly? And we never set goals around, this is how much I wanna make, this is what I want the profit margin to be, this is what I want my salary to be, because Tiffany talked, because your business make $150,000, I mean you do. This is what I want my business to be. And the other piece I wanted to mention is having someone who is like 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead of you is critical. One of the things during the pandemic, I didn't call Tiffany. I was thinking about calling Tiffany, but I was like, I can't call Tiffany and ask her for her whole financial team, because that's what I needed. But when I finished a walk, Tiffany called me. And I said, Tiff, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, I need a financial planner for HFR. I need an accountant. I need a tax person. I have like a 6-person, I went from 1-person financial team to a 6-person financial team in a year, and it was because I had somebody who was a few steps ahead of me to say, hey, this is what you need, or this is what I'm making in my business. Brandice, I think you could be doing at least, $1.5 million next year, or whatever it was, but it was that piece is so critical. Having, what does Mickey say? She said, tested advice, which I call wisdom. Having someone who is wise and who has the wisdom that you need for your business is game-changing, and it was absolutely critical for me. And Tiffany, I'm going to give you all your flowers, because you've been that for me, and it has been, our business, it doubled, now our business has tripled this year since last year. And a big piece of that is having someone who's a few steps ahead say, this is what you can do. When she said, normalize this.
Yeah.
Say the numbers.
$1 million. Say it out loud. Yeah.
Big game changer.
Because listen, creating a physical location in New York City is intimidating coming out of my mouth, right? It's a big deal. It's a big deal, especially do that. You're 3 years into having Luminary, and to understand what that space would do for so many women, the events that you've curated, the platform that you've created, all the digital programming, everything around it, the infrastructure, where do you start? And how dare you say I'm going to have a physical co-working space and community space, right?
I think I was crazy. To Brandice's point, a plan is critical. I spent all those years in corporate America. Corporate America doesn't run on, hey, we're going to make X next year, we hope. That is not how it works. You have a plan, you have a business plan, you have a strategic plan, you have a budget, you know your numbers, you know when you hit goals. And so when I decided to leave a very stable banking career to do this, the first thing that I did was write a business plan. The second thing I did was create a financial plan and said, when will I break even? When will I become profitable? What do I need to do to get there? So I knew the numbers. I knew what I wanted to make. And then I looked and said, I've got to make sure whatever I'm offering is diversified. So we have a B2B model and a B2C model, right? You can scale bigger B2B, as you were saying, Tiffany, right? And I just knew I wanted a place in New York to convene. I wanted to build something where women and male allies could come no matter what they looked like, no matter what they did, no matter what their socioeconomic status was, they could come together and learn, inspire, upskill, reskill, and I could do that one-on-one through our membership, and I could do that through companies. Coming from JP Morgan and HSBC and Bank of America, I knew what was missing in corporate America for women. It was investment in the pipeline much earlier. We start when they're senior. What about when they walk in the door? What about in the mid-level? What about when they come back from maternity or whatever their journey is? And so I knew that's how I had to do it. We were 14 months old when the pandemic hit. And it was oh shit, can I do this? Of course. There's no other option. I'm going to do this. When you are backed against the wall, you come out swinging. And as a survivor, as a competitor, whatever you want to call yourself, as a business owner, wherever you are in your journey, you have to keep surviving. And I wanted our business to thrive. And I'm proud to say that we're 500% growth since the pandemic started. But silver linings, as my mom continued to tell me those first couple months when I was ready to call it quits and quit my physical space and say, what the hell am I doing here, was figuring out how to adapt, not pivot. I'm not a big fan of the pivot word because I adapted. We adapt to the environment we're in, the table that it's around us. And so we went online literally overnight. And so now we have members in 30 plus countries. They can get our programming and our community no matter where they sit, whatever they do. And I think so much of it is about tapping into, and we heard it from the prior panel and others, your network. Don't ask for what you want, ask for what you need. Ask. The worst thing anyone can say is no. And so building that infrastructure has been critical, and I will say, a couple of my team members and our communities here, you don't exist without that, right? This is not a solo sport, as Minda said, and so that infrastructure isn't created just by Cate, right? I had an idea and a business plan and a financial plan, and just for those of you like Tiffany that I self-funded the business, right? Self-funding a physical space in New York City is no joke. But I knew what I had, and I had to believe in it to hit my goals. And so much of that is just setting those goals. Every time you hit one, what's the next one? What's the next one? Looking ahead, as you were saying. And so, but for me, I think it's all been about making sure you're adapting.
So good. You know, I know I can't keep you all forever, but I will say this is something that one of my mentors said to me, which was so good in terms of oh my goodness, I lost my thought. It was around adaptation. It was so good too, y'all. It was like, boom, mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. That Chameleon coffee has me all wired, and now it was around adaptation and the importance of ensuring that when you do adapt, you don't consider the plan B, because people think, oh, plan B is so bad. Plan B, oh, I don't want to do plan B, abandon plan B. But that you're willing to see the options on the table. And adaptation gives you permission to say, there are options here. I have a mission, be open to the process part. The process is where all the relationships come in, all the who do you knows, the I got to ask for help, I met a person at the Wayne Reed, or I was at the Great Girlfriends Conference, and something beautiful happened in the room, or the aha moments. And sometimes we get so scared to receive those moments because we want to make it this way. here was the major point. Here it is, y'all. Get ready. Mic drop. This is what he said to me. He said, a lot of times people get caught up in being controlling. You guide a business, but controlling makes you micromanaging. You don't allow other people in.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, if you're so busy governing everything, you got to do everything with your own hands and your own might. Are you controlling your business? Are you guiding it, or are you controlling it? And some women, we have to take ownership of the fact that sometimes we're controlling things versus guiding. And when you open up your mission to other people, you have a chance to guide your business into whatever that beautiful form it may be and reap the benefit of all the other things that you desire at the end of that road. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Guiding versus controlling. I think it makes a big difference. Yeah. Mic drop.
And I'll just say, last thing is, there are very few overnight successes in this world. Yeah. Very few, no matter what you read, right? You read about all these VC-backed, and nothing against VC-backed, but they're very few overnight successes. You have to keep working hard, never losing sight of it, and never losing sight of why you started it in the first place.
Can I just say, because I see some faces in here that I know it's hard. I know, especially if it's year 1, 2, 3, or maybe something has shifted and you just feel like, I'm not going to make it. But it's hard because, honestly, it's meant to be. Yep. I don't think you understand that, like, step 10 needs the skill set you picked up from step 2.
Preach it.
And so even if God lets you get to step 10, you're going to find that you're going to get there and be like, oh, I was supposed to learn how to do karate at step 2. I'm finna lose this fight, and you're going to have to go back anyway. Right? And so, because I know in the beginning, literally, I remember thinking, like, why is it this hard? And my mentee asked me the other day, she said, Miss Tiffany, I'm always like, girl, Tiffany, because I'm 41, give me a moment. She said, Tiffany, does it get easier? And I said, no, you get better.
Yeah.
So just know that, like, if it's hard right now for you, it's because it's meant to be, because it's literally fortifying you and growing you to get ready for the greatness that's ahead of you. It's meant to be hard, and you will get better.
Absolutely. I just love it.
Amen. All right, Miss Brandice, what is your I am statement? I am.
Oh, man. I am excited.
I love that. Excited is a good one. We haven't heard excited today. Tiffany, I am.
I am growing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Cate, I am.
Relentless.
Relentless. I love it. Exciting, growing, and relentless. Stand to your feet. Give it up for our panelists. All right, great girlfriends. Did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends, follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends, and on Twitter at @the_greatGFS. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.